Hey everyone, it's Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this is A Handwoven Experience, episode 13. So before now, I have given you a little tour of the loom, but I thought today it might be fun to show you all the other little accessories that I have around me to go with the weaving process. First of all, you can see I have started a little project here. See my white stuff here? Just use the spacers. It's actually toilet paper. So I always have some kind of roll of usually really cheap toilet paper handy because I use this at the beginning of every project. And when you're doing a project, you typically have some kind of a shuttle. I'm using a boat shuttle here. Kind of looks like a canoe, right? Some kind of boat. And what's nice about a boat shuttle is it has these bobbins in there. See how it kind of slides in and out? So I've always got, I've always got my other colors that I've already wound onto a bobbin. This is what an empty bobbin looks like, at least in this case. You can get them different sizes because the shuttles will come in different widths. But if you have a bobbin, it's nice to have a bobbin winder. Let me show you that guy. It looks like this. It has a little clamp down here that you could clamp. You wouldn't do it to a loom, by the way, but to a table. Clamp it to a table, and then you put the bobbin on like that. It winds around. You have a full bobbin in no time. So that's a bobbin winder. So if you decide you're not going to use a boat shuttle, you have other options. For instance, things are falling all around me here. This is a stick shuttle here. Pretty much the description kind of fits, huh? Stick shuttle. This one is a rag shuttle. So in both of these instances, the yarn winds directly onto the shuttle versus with the boat shuttle, we were able to wind it onto a bobbin. And there's benefits to both. It kind of depends on the application. So those are kind of my shuttles that I keep close by. While you're weaving, there's also some other things to kind of keep in mind. First of all, I always have scissors. Matter of fact, I have no less than like 3 pairs sitting around right now. Always scissors. Always a measuring tape. Have you seen one of these in forever? Like, I feel like this is such like a grandma thing. Like grandma always had measuring tapes around, but I use mine constantly. If I'm doing a certain kind of repeat in the fabric, I'm always measuring, okay, it's 5 inches, and then I switch to whatever, the next color, or whatever it is. But I use mine all the time. Measuring tape. Always straight pins. Straight pins, safety pins, needles, all that kind of stuff. One of the ways that I use these is if I am measuring something. Say I'm doing a series of 4 towels. I know that each towel needs to be, we'll say, 28 inches long. Well, I'm going to wind some of the fabric onto the loom, and I need to keep track of that. So I have like a little extra piece of yarn that I'll pin to it, and that'll tell me when it's time to switch. So always have pins, safety pins, straight pins, all that kind of stuff. I always have tools, which who knew to be a weaver you would have to be kind of part mechanic. But a loom has a lot of moving parts, and there are times you gotta tighten them up or fix them or something. So always a flathead, always a Phillips, always have those around. Matter of fact, when I would do demonstrations at different art fairs, I always had like my safety kit. So it would be, safety pins and tools and, just in case of emergency kind of kit. I always have to have some kind of hand lotion because your hands get dry working with all the fibers. I also am really vigilant about keeping track of my time, so I always have some kind of a notebook. You can see I like to lay out exactly what the project is, how much time I'm spending on everything. That could be a little bit anal, I understand, but because I do it for my business, I try to make sure I'm really keenly aware of where my time is going. So one of the other things as you're doing a weaving project is it's a good idea to have something in between the layers of yarn. And you've seen me with the yardsticks. I have can you see them in the background right here? There's a huge amount of yardsticks right there. So yardsticks. But I also use heavy duty craft paper, especially on like my smaller loom. Of course, it's not 36 inches. It is like 14 inches. So I like to use like a heavy duty craft paper that'll just wind in between the layers of yarn as I'm winding it on. So I have these like random rolls of these all over the place here. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Oh, I know. In the loom, this is the reed. You've heard me talk about the reed. The one that I have in here now is 12 dents per inch, which means 12 slots per inch. But sometimes you're going to do a project that has maybe a fatter yarn, or you want a different spacing. So that's where you have another reed handy. This one's an 8 dent. So if I'm going to do a different type of project, different kind of spacing, I'll pull out a different dent. I also always have extra Heddles. Heddles, these are the guys that hold the yarn through the different shafts of the loom. These, I'm sure when they came to me, they were nice and neat, and they were all on some kind of a organizer up here and at the bottom, but somehow I lost the bottom one, so they're all kind of all over the place. But there are times when you're doing a project maybe with a really fine yarn and you need a lot of these. So I tend to keep maybe 100, 200 extra, just in case for those unique projects when you really need a lot of yarns in your project. So I think that kind of covers it. By the way, I always have a hot beverage or a cold beverage. I always have a beverage with me when I'm working, so that'd be the other piece of the puzzle here as I'm sitting at the loom. Weaving tends to come with a lot of little bits, and it's kind of up to you what little bits are important to your process. But that gives you just a little overview of what it's like in my little studio space here. So I hope you enjoyed that. Got a little something out of it. If so, like, comment, or share. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to know when the next Handwoven Experience video is coming out, go ahead and hit subscribe. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week. Happy weaving.